Ready for a deep dive? We're going to a world where myths and monsters are real. Today, we're diving into the Paola Santiago series by Tehlor Kay Mejia.
Oh, I love this series.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's so captivating. We've got all 3 books.
Wow.
So we'll really unpack this awesome story and its themes of like friendship, family, and facing your fears.
All with a healthy dose of Latinx folklore, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it's so fascinating how Mejia blends real-world issues with the supernatural so seamlessly.
Totally.
Like, we meet Pao, this brilliant, science-minded girl growing up in Arizona.
Right.
She's trying to navigate family and friendships, but also coming face-to-face with creatures straight out of her mother's stories.
Oh, totally. Pao is like all about logic and reason.
Yeah.
So she's naturally skeptical about all the supernatural stuff that her mom, Maria, embraces.
Especially the legend of La Llorona.
Oh, yeah.
The weeping woman haunts the Gila River.
Yes, and Maria actually forbids Pao from even going near the river because of it.
That's right.
It's a big no-no.
Yeah, this tension between Pao's scientific worldview and her mother's mystical beliefs.
Yes.
It's key throughout the series. Like, they're constantly tugging between logic and faith.
Yeah, reason and intuition.
And then it gets even more complicated
when
Pao's best friend, Emma, disappears.
Exactly. And it's not just like any disappearance either.
Right.
Pao starts having these crazy, vivid nightmares.
Oh, tell me about it.
About a disembodied hand wearing Emma's ring encounters with this girl named Undina.
Creepy.
And of course, the river is like a central role.
Always the river.
Always.
Yeah.
Even for someone who like doesn't believe in the supernatural, this would be unsettling.
Absolutely. Despite all of Pao's skepticism, though,
yeah,
she can't shake the feeling that her dreams are connected to Emma vanishing.
Right.
It's just too eerie.
The coincidence is too many.
Yeah, too many.
So Pao, being the amazing friend that she is, she teams up with her other best friend, Dante.
Of course.
To investigate.
Naturally.
And their investigation leads them to this, like, hidden world.
Oh!
A haven. It's inhabited by Los Niños de la Luz.
Los Niños de la Luz. I love that.
I know. It's such a cool name. A group dedicated to protecting people from supernatural threats.
I mean, what's so intriguing is that this group is led by Marisa, Pao's former bully.
Oh, yeah.
But she's undergone like a total transformation since being chosen by the Void.
Right.
It makes you wonder how our experiences, even the bad ones, can shape us.
Absolutely.
In these really unexpected ways. Like, it's not always a straight line.
No, it's very twisty-turny.
Yeah, very twisty-turny.
And, I can't forget to mention the creatures they encounter.
Oh, yes.
Terrifying chupacabras, vengeful ahogados.
Spooky.
It's a full-on supernatural showdown. Luckily, Dante has inherited the armadillama weapon from his abuela to fight back.
That's right. This weapon becomes such a symbol of Dante's connection to his heritage and his role in this hidden world.
Absolutely.
Almost like a physical manifestation of his power.
Yeah, like it embodies his
it.
strength.
Totally.
And then, of course, we have La Llorona.
Oh,
the infamous weeping woman.
Right.
At first, Pao thinks she's the villain.
Of course.
But as with everything in this series, there's more to the story.
Always a twist.
Always a twist. They uncover her really tragic past.
Yeah. A woman driven to desperate measures by societal pressures. A mother who lost her children and was consumed by this force called the Void.
It's really sad.
It is. And it's important to note that the Void isn't just a place.
Oh.
It's a source of power.
Yeah.
But it comes at a cost. It can twist and manipulate those connected to it.
Especially those who are vulnerable.
Exactly. La Llorona's story really adds this depth figure who is so often portrayed as just this one-dimensional monster.
Right, like the classic scary story.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of a void, it turns out La Llorona is actually Pao's grandmother.
Whoa, what a reveal, right?
I know. This changes everything for Pao.
Totally.
And helps explain the powers that she's starting to develop.
I mean, remember that ordinary flashlight she always carries?
Yeah.
It becomes a key to the Void, a symbol of her connection to this legacy.
It's true. The flashlight, like this seemingly mundane object,
totally mundane,
transforms into this symbol of Pao's, like, evolving identity.
It does.
You know, representing her ability to bridge the gap between the ordinary world and the supernatural.
It's like a bridge between worlds.
Exactly.
That's such a good way to put it.
Okay, I think we need to pause for a sec and really consider La Llorona's story.
Yeah.
What do you think Mejia is trying to say about the pressures that women and mothers in particular face?
That's a great question. I think La Llorona's story forces us to really examine those pressures. Like, she's often just this vengeful spirit.
Yeah.
But Mejia presents her as this complex figure who is driven to these desperate measures. She's not just a monster.
Right.
She's a victim of circumstance.
Exactly. And it's not just La Llorona.
Yeah.
We see this theme of societal pressure like play out in other ways throughout the books too.
Oh, absolutely. For instance, Pao is constantly told she needs to be more ladylike.
Yeah.
And she faces discrimination because she's Latina. These experiences like truly shape her worldview.
And her understanding of her identity.
Exactly.
And what about the void? It seems to represent more than just like a physical space, right?
Definitely. The void is this powerful force that can be both alluring and dangerous.
Right.
It magnifies people's insecurities.
Yeah.
But it also offers them like a sense of power and belonging. Mm-hmm. So it's this complex concept that reflects the struggles that so many characters.
Right. And Pao, even with her scientific mind, is drawn to the void.
Oh, she is.
In a way she doesn't fully understand.
Yeah, it's like she's being pulled in two opposite directions.
Totally.
Towards the logic and reason she relies on, but also towards this mysterious force that both frightens her and fascinates her.
Total. So with all that in mind, let's dive into the rest of the series.
Let's do it.
And see how Pao navigates all these challenges. Remember, we have 3 books.
Yes.
And each one takes Pao deeper into this hidden world and the mysteries surrounding her family. New characters will emerge.
Oh, yeah.
Relationships evolve. And she continues to struggle with how to reconcile her scientific mind with the increasingly undeniable reality of the supernatural.
One of the things I find so compelling about this series is that it doesn't shy away from those like really difficult questions.
No.
It makes us confront our own beliefs and assumptions about the world.
Absolutely.
And to consider the possibility that, you know, there might be more to reality than meets the eye.
Totally. And Pao's journey, it reminds us that it's okay to question what you believe and to embrace the unknown.
Even when it feels scary.
Even when it feels scary.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, sometimes the greatest discoveries are made when we step outside our comfort zones.
Oh, absolutely.
And challenge our perspectives.
Couldn't agree more.
Right. So, should we go on to book 2?
Yes, let's dive in. I'm ready for more.
Okay, let's go.
So, in the second book, Paola's journey, it takes her deeper into family and the impact of trauma.
Right.
She's back home after her summer adventures.
Yeah.
Trying to fit back into, you know, normal life.
I bet that's hard.
It is. It's a real struggle.
I can imagine.
Especially after everything she experienced, like facing those creatures, discovering the truth about La Llorona. It's no wonder she's having a hard time.
Totally.
And it's not just her, like her inner self.
Yeah.
Her relationships have been affected too.
Of course.
Her friendship with Dante, strained.
Oh, no.
They're not on the same page.
Right.
And she's feeling really isolated. It's like those experiences they shared, instead of bringing them closer, it pushed them apart.
That makes sense. Trauma can be like so isolating, even when you've gone through it with someone.
You'd think it would bring you together.
You would.
But sometimes it
does the opposite.
It does. And then another crisis hits.
Oh, no. What now?
Señora Dante's abuela. She falls ill. Mysteriously.
Oh, no.
Her memories are fading.
That's so sad.
And guess what? Pao's vivid dreams, they come back.
Oh, no, really?
But this time, it's a forest, not the river.
Interesting. So it's like the void is calling to her?
It is.
But in a different form.
Exactly. Right. And Pao, she's got to find answers.
Right.
So she sets out on this new quest.
Where to this time?
Pine Glade, Oregon.
Oregon, okay.
She's looking for her father.
Wow. So this search for her father.
Yeah.
It adds another layer too, like the idea of family we see in this series.
It does. Pao's journey becomes about, like, uncovering hidden truths. Not just about her father, but about herself, her family's legacy.
Okay.
And what she finds out is her father isn't who she thought he was.
Oh, what do you mean?
He's possessed.
What?
Merged with the soul of a boy who was sacrificed to the void.
Oh, my gosh.
Gado.
Okay.
La Llorona's son.
Wow. Talk about a complicated family reunion.
I know, right? And this whole thing about Beto, it adds a whole new dimension.
It does.
Because now Pao has to deal with this idea that even those who seem like victims can perpetuate cycles of harm.
It's true.
It's a really morally complex situation.
Yeah, there are no easy answers.
No. And like on top of all that, Beto trying to connect with the Pao.
Right.
It alerts the void to her, which puts her right in the sights of El Kuki.
El Kuki. Now that's a scary name.
Right. El Kuki.
Yeah.
He's like the embodiment of fear. This terrifying figure that, like, feeds off terror.
Oh, that's creepy.
I know.
So Pao is in even more danger now. And her friendship with Dante is still messed up.
Yeah, it's rough.
It seems like she's facing all these challenges.
On multiple fronts. But even though she and Dante aren't good, Pao can't let him face this alone.
Of course.
She knows they need each other.
Right.
So they team up along with Naomi.
Naomi, who's that?
A former Nina.
Oh, okay.
She brings her own skills to the group.
Okay, cool. So now they're like this little trio.
They are. Naomi is like rebellious, fiercely independent, and carries a lot of pain. Her journey is about finding her place, her voice, and her own power.
I like her already.
Yeah, she's great.
So together, they're facing these cadejos.
Oh, yeah.
Those monstrous hellhounds.
And a bunch of other creatures.
Oh my gosh, it sounds intense.
It is.
So while they're facing all these external challenges, Pao is also dealing with an internal struggle.
Right.
She's losing her connection to the void.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, her powers are fading.
And she's doubting herself.
Of course. It's like the void is rejecting.
Yeah, the very thing that's been a part of her is pushing her away. And to make things worse, Dante accuses her of being selfish.
No.
Too caught up in her own issues to be a good friend.
That's harsh.
Yeah, that scene really shows how bad things are between them.
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep a friendship going when you're going through tough stuff.
Trauma can really affect your relationships.
It can. And the ending of the second book, it leaves Pao in a bad spot. She confronts her dad and realizes he's too messed up with the void to save.
Oh, man.
And she has to make this impossible choice.
What is that?
Sacrifice that, like, completely breaks.
That's awful. So it's a turning point for Pao.
It is.
She experiences this huge loss, but it also forces her to face the limits of her own power.
Yes. And the harsh realities of this supernatural world.
Yeah, she's really going through it.
She is. And that leads us right into the final book.
Okay.
Where Pao has to find a new way.
Yeah.
To deal with this world.
Right.
A new kind of strength.
I can't wait to see what happens. Okay, so book 3.
Paola Santiago and the Sanctuary of Shadows.
Such a good title.
It is.
It really sets the mood. Pio's in a totally different place now.
Yeah, she is.
She's lost her connection to the void.
Right.
Her dreams are gone.
Yeah.
And she's still dealing with everything that happened in Oregon.
Oh, absolutely. It shows how trauma can stick with you.
Right. Like even when you think you're over it.
Yeah.
It can still affect you.
It affects how you see things.
Your relationships. And to make matters worse.
What now?
Dante's been taken by El Cucuy.
Oh, Cucuy got him.
Yeah, he was lured into the void.
Oh, man.
By this figure who, like, knew exactly how to manipulate him.
That's awful.
I know, right? It's like all Paola's fears are coming true.
Yeah.
And she can't do anything about it.
But she's not giving up.
No, even though she's lost her connection to the void.
Right.
Pao's still going to fight.
She's got to save Dante and stop El Cucuy from, destroying everything.
It's crazy, right? Like throughout the whole series, Pao's strength, it doesn't come from some like magical ability.
It's more than that.
It comes from her determination.
Her willpower.
The refusal to back down.
Even when things are really bad.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is. It's a reminder that strength can come from anywhere.
Totally.
And sometimes the most powerful thing is just like not giving up.
So true.
So where does Pao end up?
She ends up at this retreat.
A retreat?
Yeah. It's for the Rainbow Rogues.
Okay.
It's this group for kids who've had like supernatural encounters.
Interesting.
It's supposed to be a safe space,
A place to connect.
But of course.
There's a twist.
Of course. Things aren't what they seem. I know, right? The whole retreat takes this dark turn.
What happens?
So the chaperone, super cheerful, right?
Yeah.
Turns out to be this like monstrous phantasma.
Oh.
And the kids, they're being used as bait.
Bait for what?
To attract more creatures.
That's messed up.
It is. And Pal's kind of thrust into this leadership role.
Oh, wow.
She's not sure she's ready for it.
Right.
But she has to step up.
This is where she really grows.
Yeah, she has to embrace her potential.
Make tough decisions.
Even with all her fears and doubts.
It's a good lesson.
It is. It's about resilience and adapting.
You got to find new ways to cope.
New strengths.
When what you thought defined you is gone.
It's true.
Yeah.
And Pal realizes she can't rely on the void anymore.
So what does she do?
She has to find a different way to fight.
And she does.
She does. And throughout all of this, she's not alone.
Who's there for her?
Emma.
Her best friend.
Yeah, she's there every step of the way.
I love
their friendship is tested, like pushed to the limits.
But it survives.
It does.
It's a good example of like real friendship.
It really is. They support each other.
Challenge each other.
They never give up on each other.
It's beautiful.
And then there's Naomi.
Oh yeah, Naomi. She starts off like all prickly.
Yeah, the lone wolf.
But we see her softer side.
Yeah, her loyalty.
Her vulnerability.
She really cares about her people.
It shows how connection can change you.
Right. Like she starts all closed off.
Distrustful.
With all this baggage.
But she learns to trust.
To belong.
It's a good arc.
It is. And we can't forget how the series deals with real stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like racism.
Prejudice.
Microaggressions.
Pao faces it all.
She does. Mejia doesn't shy away from those hard topics.
It makes the story feel real.
Right. Like it's part of Pao's world.
And it makes us think.
Exactly. But Pao, through it all, never loses her sense of humor.
She's funny.
She is. She's quick-witted.
Sarcastic.
And always has a good comeback.
It's good to find humor, even in the dark stuff.
Right. It's what keeps us going.
It makes life worth living.
So true. Okay, so the final showdown.
With El Cucoy.
It all comes down to this.
What happened?
Pao has to face.
In his own realm.
Yeah. Face her deepest fear.
That's intense.
It is. And her choice.
Yeah.
It determines the fate of, like, everything.
The world.
It's the combination of, like, her whole journey.
She has to embrace every part of herself.
Her heritage, the void, her logic.
Her courage.
Her compassion.
It's powerful.
It is. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always hope.
A little light.
To guide us through. Bittersweet. It's full of closure.
New beginnings.
Pao makes peace with her past.
Embraces the future.
Accepts who she is.
That's what it's...
I think one of the things that really stood out to me in this series is the female friendships.
Oh, and Emma.
They're the heart of the story.
They lift each other up.
They challenge each other.
Always there.
It's nice to see such a strong friendship.
Yeah. It's not often you see that in books.
And then Naomi, too.
Yeah. Great.
She starts off so tough.
Yeah. But she changes.
Her connection with Pao and Dante really changes her.
It's the power of friendship.
Right. It can make you a better person.
It can make you brave.
So the Paola Santiago series.
Yeah. It's
more than just an adventure, right?
It's about identity.
Friendship.
Being yourself.
Even when the world doesn't get you.
It stays with you.
It makes you think.
It does.
So here's a thought for you.
Okay.
We've seen how Pao deals with a world where real and myth are all mixed up.
Right.
What if you found out the stories you grew up with?
Yeah.
The legends were real.
Like, actually real.
How would you react?
What would you do?
What strengths would you find in yourself?
It's something to think about.
It is. Sometimes the best adventures.
Yeah.
Start by stepping into the unknown.
I put it.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Into the world of Paola Santiago.
We hope you enjoyed it.
It's been a journey.
It has. Magic, monsters, self-discovery.
It's all there.
And remember, the story doesn't end here.
No, it continues.
It's up to us to find our own adventures.
In ourselves and the world around us.
Exactly.